I could do something with my hair, but I kind of like messy hair. I'm attracted to ladies that have messy hair. I think men look good with messy hair, but I've noticed as I get older that as my other features start to fade, I'm actually very obsessed with my looks. Didn't know that. Kind of knew that, but didn't wasn't able to say that. Wasn't able to express that. Wasn't able to put it into words. Seems to matter when you put things into words. I like to go on tangents. Let me get back to what I was originally trying to say, which is that I could take care of my hair, but I like messy hair. And then as you get older, features start to fade, so messy hair becomes more of an issue. But I feel like I'm in my element just now. I'm in my element. I feel good despite the messy hair. I don't can't explain that because a lot of times I would think about this while trying to talk, and I wouldn't be able to talk. So I am doing this stream this morning, and I don't have anything specific to talk about. There's a few different things I can talk about, and we'll see what we get to. We will see. I will see. I will see, and you shall see. So I guess that is we. Together we shall see what I will get to. Oh God, I wish I was smart. I wish I was. I wish I could just rattle. It's interesting because it's like there's this kind of currency with the English language, with the English language, where you know the English language and now you have power because we have a lot of power, and so if you know the English language, you have power. I was in a homeless shelter, and this woman said, "You speak really well." It was one of a few reasons why, and she said I was smart. And it was one of the few reasons why she felt I shouldn't be in a homeless shelter. And I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't at the end of the day. But that's an interesting thing to tell me. I never thought I was using my power as a human being by by speaking well. There's a few different directions I can go with that, but just thinking about the directions I can go with it is painful in my head. Oh, oh God, that feels so good. Ah. Oh, that's great. That's really good. So 97% of people will not understand why I laughed just there. But if you played it back and you watched all my videos, then maybe you would understand. Or also if you lived the life as a human being, you might understand. But I will explain it to you. I will explain to you why I laughed just then. But fair warning, it's not gonna the humor is going to diminish in the explaining of it. You could just like hold it, this is the decision. This is the choice. You could just hold it in your mind and think to yourself, why the hell was he laughing? I didn't see what was so funny about what he just said. And just wait. Just wait. And then like in 10 days or like 3 years, you'll get it. But I guess we all have problems with delayed gratification now. So you want an answer now, and I shall provide you with that answer. But just know it's not going to feel as good as when you personally realize. So the reason why that was so funny is because um, I wanted to explain. I wish I could play back, and now I'm forgetting what I freaking said. I wanted to explain something, and then I thought about explaining it in my head. Like I imagined going down the road of explaining it, and the amount of time it would take to explain it, I realized through my imagination, would be quite a period. It would be a long time. And then I also realized that it wouldn't be enjoyable for me. And then I decided to just say what was happening, which was, it hurts. It hurts. And that's so true and beautiful. I started streaming. My first stream, I think, was legendary in a way because I was just saying how I felt. And I think my second stream, which not as many people want to watch, which, by the way, I do care who wants to watch my streams. So that makes me petty, yes. But I think the magic of it is that just admitting stuff. I think that's about all I can offer. I don't have much else going for me. I mean, I could sing a little bit. I sometimes have this creative ability. I wrote a great story the other day, and who knows if anyone's ever going to see it. I hope they do. It's on my blog, but I want to put more effort into it. I want to make a video out of it. I want more people to see it. But I don't know if that's going to happen because I can't seem to get off my bed. It's hard for me to go from a horizontal position to a sitting position. Like a lot of time I'm like this, but that seems to be better. But you know, standing is that's what standing is. It's the position. Apparently God, you know, apparently God has like a fascination with, vertical things. God. I love this voice. There's a lot of voices that I use. It's probably like a spirit. It's probably, I have like seven spirits that are with me always. One of them talks like this. One of them talks like, can you believe in God? Dang it, dang! Like it's super judgmental. He or she is super judgmental. But I use it every now and again. It's very funny. A lot of times I'll use that voice and it's not funny, but then I need it to be funny, and I finally laugh at it. And I just like I gotta get a good chuckle out of it. But I thought I'd expose some of these voices to the world, and I think people can appreciate the voices. I hope they can. If you think that I'm a crazy man, chances are you listen to legacy media. Okay, so I don't really, you know, respect that. Instead of saying something, why don't I just show it? There you go. There you have it. It's very interesting to nod immediately after saying something as if someone just was profoundly moved by what you said. It's like preemptively accepting recognition. I don't know if it's arrogant or hilarious or something else, but I like it. and I've come to I'm using it. Good morning, everyone. Now the fear is creeping in. The fear, the realization that I actually have nothing to offer. Something many of you have already discovered. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. This stream was deliberately titled Stream 6, and I did not hyphen and then add topics. I think when you add topics, it lends a level of credibility because you're actually saying something. But I'm not really going to be saying very much at all because I've realized that I have not much to say or share or contribute except just admitting things. So I'm going to like a lot of this is going to be starting to say something and then like realizing how much pain I have and then just expressing that. I don't know if you're following what I'm saying. It's just like because I'm languishing so hard. Ooh, that hurts. See right there, that's an example. That hurts. Am I languishing? The smile was wiped from my face. And now the smile just came back because it's so amazing to be honest. I heard someone say once that linkage between there's a linkage between comedy and truth. And I I always believed that. I've always believed that from the time I heard that. I can't quite wrap my whole logical capacity around that. But like let's say I'm sarcastic and I say something not truthful. That can still be funny, but it belies truth when you speak sarcastically in a proper way and you're still covering a truthful topic, I suppose. Sorry, sorry about all that. That's not gelling with anyone. What I just said. Oh, I feel so bad. I went on a vacation recently, and that was nice. But then I came home and I had myself to contend with, which wasn't so nice, you know? So, yeah, there's that. And another one of these modern intellectual sayings there's that. Has anyone, did anyone realize just exactly when there's that came about? It's one of these sayings. It's very intellectual. It's like we're noticing something. Let us all collectively notice. We have gathered here and we are together in our group and we have done something or we have said something and or something has occurred and now we've appointed our official representative to declare that there is that or as the or you could also conjugate and say there's that, you know. So anyway, here's how I spend my time. This is how I would like to spend my time. I don't even want to read this because it's so beautiful, and yet I kind of want to read it because I want to destroy it. maybe i should Maybe I should hide all of my writings. Maybe then they would have more uh value to people. I don't see, the problem is that I don't make money off of my creative pursuits. And so I don't want to do them because um, I think that ultimately you have to make money off of the thing you do with passion. You have to be able to live off of the thing you do with passion. And the things that I do with passion, except for one time I got $100 when I made Halloween Pie, which is a 10-minute film. So there was something in the makeup of all of that. Maybe because I kind of hired the daughter of the guy that gave me $100. She didn't really have an official role. I guess probably what happened was I said, "Hey, can you help me with this thing?" She's like, "Yeah, what do you want me to do?" And I'm like, some stuff." And she's like, "Okay." And then I don't know how word got around or gets around, but it got around that I was doing this movie, and I did the movie, or I think before I did the movie, um, her father was probably like, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" And she's like, "Oh, to do this movie." And then and then the father said, I am your father and I am your protector. And if I lose the role of protector, then I feel bad as a human being. Like I feel worthless. And I would walk 10 miles in the snow to not feel worthless. So, um, please tell me why you're in doing this. And she was probably thinking in the depths of her soul, well, I don't need to tell you that because I'm my own human being and you're just scared that something's going to happen to me and then people are going to blame you and then your reputation is going to be tarnished. But she did not care to share that because of her own deep fears. So instead, she just told him, well, there's this guy doing this movie and I'm going to be a part of it. And then he proceeded to ask questions about it. And then it seems that it was good to him that I was doing something. And then he fashioned in his mind that I ought to give this guy $100. After all, I don't know him that well. And so this is going to be a great introduction. This guy, as far as we know, may prove to be an amazing talent. And getting in the door by giving him $100 would be a great thing. It's a great way to start a business relationship. Theo, you're cynical, you have no faith in people, and you're trite. What does trite mean? This is why I'm so smart, because I look up words. The problem is I don't retain their meanings. Trite, of a remark, opinion, or idea. Overused and consequentially of little import, lacking originality or freshness. I don't think I was so trite there. I think that was a misappropriation of the term trite. So anyway, shall I read this beautiful thing that I wrote the other day, or should I keep it to myself and thereby therefore there too there's that I would not destroy it. See, if I don't read it to you, I yeah, it's about time. Who cares about time? Does anybody go into it's like manipulators that want to go into a discussion about time. Does anybody go to like a preeminent somebody and look forward to their discussion on time? I mean, even people that do, their heart is probably like, "Ow," you know, their heart's just like dropping with every millisecond. Who wants to know about time? Oh Lord, this is difficult. Oh. It dawns on me that I could just feel how bad I feel, but apparently it's a racial addiction that I have. It's one of the unfortunate addictions of my race to not want to feel my emotions. Oh, what do you mean by race theory? Are you talking about you as a white person? No, I'm talking about myself as a half French person, half English heritage person. Well, that means white. Oh, okay. I know what I'll do. I'll go on a racial tirade about how race politics are so messed up. Am I right? That's what the people really want. Let's collectivize our anger and then uh do terrible things in the world. Let's do that. Let's collectivize our anger together and then like project it onto the world. Who doesn't deserve it? Theo, what do you mean on race? I'm talking about the human race. Theo, nobody stretches on camera. That's what I can give. You don't understand. Me being me is what I have to give. It's all I have. It's the only thing I really have. Just me being me. Like everything else is just this is nothing. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying a few things, but mostly nothing. Mostly nothing. I mean, let's be real here. I don't know why anybody would be watching me except for the dose of honesty intermingled with the excessive nothingness. So here we go. Let's read this thing. Time. Who cares about time? Well, it just so happens. Maybe I do, damn it. Did I just let a spirit? Did I just allow a spirit to overcloak me just then? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Let's assume the worst. Yes. Oh, assuming the worst feels so good. I bet that's an addiction too. When you assume the worst, it's like you don't have to do as much because it's all bad. Why am I so brilliant and unproductive and poor at the same time? I'm brilliant yet poor. That doesn't make sense. It's a contradiction. I love money and yet I'm virtuous. That means you're not virtuous, Theo. Oh, fuck. Yes. That's another colloquy. That's another thing. When did yes become? That's a saying too. We're gonna talk about all the sayings. Yes is another saying. Yes. I probably overuse it. Let's just assume the worst. God, that feels so good to assume the worst. It's like a hit. Oh, just like assuming the worst. Theo, don't normalize heroin usage. You can normalize assuming the worst, but not heroin usage. It's not funny. My sister's rabbit was a heroin addict. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. So, yes. And there's that. Are two very highly intellectual, maybe yes isn't as intellectual, common sayings that just suddenly everybody started saying it because, a few people said it and then it developed. How do these things morph? How does God know everything? God already saw it. I don't get how you enjoy your creation if you already know. Speaking of time, how do you exist beyond time, God? Theo, stop railing against God. He's a creator. You can't understand. I want to understand him. I rail against him because I'm passionate about knowing who he is. If I lose the ability to rail against someone, then I lose the opportunity to know who he is. What the fuck is going on with God? Can we talk about God for a second? If you did that, Theo, then you would break the treaty that you signed. Which the fuck are you talking about? The treaty that you signed where you said you were going to talk about nothing. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I did say I was going to talk about nothing. So maybe I shouldn't talk about God, who is meaningful. That's a meaningful topic. That's another thing I can offer. this, it's like, whoa. It's like, whoa. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, Theo, don't try to be hip hop ish. You're white. It doesn't work. You can't jump. You're racist. Let's collectivize and project our anger. I want to say eschew our anger. I really want to say eschew because I think that makes me sound smart, but I can't say eschew because it's not the right word. If I said eschew, then I don't even know how to say it. Is it eschew or is it eschew? If I said it, people caught, like smart people caught that I was using that word wrong, they would come after me, and then this whole thing would fall apart. This whole entire thing would fall apart. My whole business. That was fake, by the way, in case you didn't know. But literally, I want to say eschew. I want to eschew our anger together, but really, I want to project our anger because that's the right word. It makes sense. You just have to be as stupid and like morally and emotionally stunted to understand it. Everything I'm saying makes sense. Stop not understanding what I'm saying and doing here, what the essential message is. Stop not understanding. Understand. Damn it. Fuck. Just fucking understand. Theo, stop yelling at your audience. They're all you have. I don't know if that's true. Time. God, right? I mean, God, what the hell, man? You know everything? Like literally everything. I don't like that there could be more than you. When I was a child, I was told that Reverend Moon was the Messiah. And I believe that because I people were this is the world that I grew up in, okay? Hey Theo, you're a small little child and I'm going to teach you. Okay. I was like, "Okay." And they're like, "Listen up, Theo." Okay. And then they're like, "So there's this dude, right? And he's from another country, but it's totally legit. Everything's legit. We're all like racism is not good." Okay. So he's from another country, right? And he's the Messiah. What? Oh, that's right. I didn't tell you what a Messiah is. Yeah, a Messiah is like, so we were in bad shape as a human, as a race, as the human race, like who, like the whole, like everybody, like all the vertical ones, you know. God has a special. I tell you about God yet? No. So God has a fetish for vertical people, vertical things. Theo, don't blaspheme. Don't create a character and then blaspheme God saying that he has a fetish. Of course, God, who is perfect, has no fetishes. I'm sorry. Anyway, God has a special place in his heart. Yeah, there we go. That's what you wanted me to say. God has a special place in his heart for verticals, otherwise known as human beings. Anyway, verticals, us, the ones that can stand. Let's not talk about apes. They kind of, you know, they cross the line a little bit, but it's not exactly vertical because, like, you know, they they walk with their knees half bent. What are you talking about? Can I go play now? So I'm sorry. Just hold on for a second. Okay, listen. There's a Messiah and there's God, and God loves us. So all you have to know about God is that He loves us, and that's about all I know about Him. Okay, so God. So the verticals are in like a really bad. They're in a really bad shape, right? Okay, and so we need like another vertical to come and explain like what the fuck is going on and save us. And that was Jesus. Okay. Where's Jesus? He died a long time ago. Okay. I don't want to talk to you about death right now, Theo. It's like a whole thing. I'm really scared of death, and I don't want to get into that discussion. Let's just keep it to the Messiah things. Okay. So, anyway, yeah. So he died, but he didn't finish his mission. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, he was like he had this mission, and he failed in his mission, unfortunately. Okay. So what had to happen is that he had to come again. Okay. He had to come again. And he did come again, except he didn't really come again. It wasn't that he had to come again. That's what the Bible says, or whatever. But what ended up happening was that another dude came, and he's a Korean guy. He's the guy I was talking about earlier. And his name is Sun Myung Moon. I know what the sun is, and I know what the moon is. The sun is in the sky when it's the daytime, and the moon is in the sky when it's nighttime. Except for sometimes I can also see it in the daytime. And sometimes I can see the sun when it's kind of really dark out. And sometimes the clouds, Theo, don't listen. I'm trying to dominate you by telling you stuff that I know, and I don't want you to like be cute right now, okay? This is my moment. Okay, I'm sorry. So anyway, Sun Myung Moon is the new Messiah, okay? Okay. But wait. You're just saying like okay a lot, so that makes me think like you don't like it's just like a bunch of like stuff rattling around in your mind. Like you sound like a dumb idiot. You sound stupid, Theo. Don't just say okay. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you understand that Sun Myung Moon is the fucking Messiah, Theo? Yes. yes, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, say it, motherfucker. He's the Messiah? Who's the Messiah, goddammit? Oh, that's a good boy. Oh, here's a cookie. No, that's dental floss. I don't have any cookie just now, but you're such a good boy. I'm going to pat your head. Dude, I just felt like the fake sadness was blending into real sadness. That is really trippy. I could literally just go into my sadness right now, but this is a stream and this is for you guys. Did anyone just see that lie? It's not for you guys, it's for me. It's for me. Actually, I am sad, honestly. But I'm not going to go into it because I'm trying to do this amazing stream. Oh, Lord. God in heaven. Oh. Ugh. Sometimes you just have to like you gotta like reorient yourself to just like get away from all the deep sadness, you know? You gotta just like, I don't know, take something and shake it, you know? You just gotta you know? That's one of the voices that I use. You just gotta take something, you gotta shake it, you know? Yeah. So that's the world that I grew up in. And then I was like, Sunman wins the Messiah. And then people were like, that's a good boy. Oh, you're such a good boy. That's a good boy. Oh, that's a good boy. Here, you want to fetch the stick? You want to go to school? Yeah. You want to get good grades? Yeah. That's a good boy. Oh, that's a good boy. Yeah, I'm a good boy. And then I was 18. I'm like, I don't feel so good. And then everyone was like, you don't feel so good because you're just not studying hard enough. That doesn't make sense. I don't like studying. I don't feel good when I study a lot. And then I was starting to flirt with atheism because I wanted to know what God. That's weird. It you need to be an atheist before you freaking know who God is. Well, that's a goddamn contradiction. Then you're not supposed to say goddamn, that's bad. Oh, okay. Sorry. Fuck. Then you're not supposed to say fuck because that's a bad word. And you're not supposed to say motherfucker because that's misogynist. And it also has the fuck in it. And you're not supposed to say fuck or motherfucker or nothing else. Fuck you, bitch. You're not supposed to use you're not supposed to like create a character and he can say the bad things because that's actually you because you created that character and you're still saying the bad things. So don't think you can do that. That's not allowed either. Fuck. See, you're not supposed to say anything, just like do nothing, and then when you die of overeating and sadness, we can all mourn you and wish selfishly that there was something we could do, but really there was not much because we ultimately secretly know that we all have choices to make in our own lives, and there was nothing I could have ultimately done. But if I say in front of other people that there must have been something I could have done, and I'm sorry, then I still retain my Stop being so cynical, Theo. What does cynical mean? I always go. Is it just me, or am I the only person that gets confused between cynical and conceited? Cynical. It's like seeing everyone as bad, right? Believing that people are motivated purely by self interest, distrustful of human sincerity or integrity. It's a weird line, man. It's a weird line. That's weird. Sorry, I can't explain that one. That also takes way too long. It's way too hard. It's not above my pay grade, but it just like I'd have to write a lot about it to get the thoughts moving so I could properly explain it. So I've been watching a lot. Fuck? What do I want to talk about? I should just end this stupid ass stream. Let's see if anyone messaged me. Nope, nothing else. Nothing to talk about. No messages to respond to. That's fine. I don't need people to message me. In fact, that would suggest that someone's actually watching, which would make me feel bad. So, yeah. Time. Let me just read this and then I'll assume that you maybe can get something from it. Yeah, let's just do that. I feel bad about that. No, it's so beautiful. I don't want to share this beautiful thing. I destroy it. Every time I have an idea and I talk about it, I destroy it. No, Theo, it's not by talking about it that you destroy it. It's by not doing anything about it that you destroy it. I wish it was just that I talk about it and that's how I destroy it. I hate doing things. I am so, ugh. Like there's this, like you're supposed to feel, but you're also supposed to do. You're not supposed to hide and do nothing. You're supposed to go after things, which is doing, and you're also supposed to feel. But I don't really go after things or feel. I just engage addictions. Sorry, guys. I know all this talk about me just engage. I'm always like, I always want to share the worst things about me, and there's some addiction in there which I don't fully understand. I don't get all that. And it's probably freaking tiring for people and not helpful. I don't know. I think it's really cool to share. I always like people that share honestly, unless I'm judging them, in which case I'm like actively judging them and feeling bad about that, I guess. But I don't connect with them. Sometimes it's gross when people share, but I'm saying when someone actually shares, I think that's cool. So I think it's cool when I do it, but then I share too much. I don't get anywhere. I'm sorry, I was going to read you this thing about. It's basically, it's not a lot, it's not amazing. Yeah, it doesn't matter so much, so let me just read it. Here we go. How I spend my time. That's what it's entitled as. These days, I mostly spend my waking time on earth, engaging addictions and working. There are a lot of things I want to change about my life. If I want to be happy, the best way I can use my time is to seek a relationship with God, asking my Heavenly Parent for her love and truth. There are 168 hours in a week. 8 hours of each day are for sleeping, so that leaves 96 hours in a week. 96 hours in a week. 2 hours a day must be spared for self care. 2 multiplied by 7 is 14. Deduct that from the 96. That leaves 82 hours in a week. I don't want to work more than 30 hours in a week doing work I don't love doing. That leaves 52 hours in a week that I can use to seek a relationship with God, follow my desires, feel my emotions, and spend time with others. Of course, it's hard to clearly separate those 52 hours into neat periods of time. I may be social with someone, and emotions may come up, and I will want to leave and spend some time feeling them in return. But generally, it would be good to see if I can spend those 52 hours pursuing positive activities different to addictions. This, I should read this with more gusto. Maybe it would be interesting then. So here are the following things I must spend my time in. This is so stupid. This is just list making, you know? I didn't actually do anything. I really wanted to write this down, but I don't know. Yesterday was supposed to be like one of the first days of instituting this. I'm always trying. I'm always like going for it and then not getting anywhere. I don't know, guys. I could try to find some good in just talking to you about my problems somewhere. I'd probably just cry at some point, and then that might seem valuable. But I've already said that it's wrong to cry. I think it's wrong to cry and being an and it's like being an exhibitionist. So I don't want to do that. I think it's cool to think about how you're spending your time, and if I actually did try to spend like if I didn't make streams, but I spent. I don't think this is really that valuable. Some people might be getting stuff out of this. You might think you are, or you might actually be, but I think my more valuable work will come from my creative work, the stories that I write, my video stuff, and my audio stuff. And so that's really where I should be spending my time. I'm just doing this because, like, I would be sitting on my ass if I wasn't. What I really should be doing is spending 52 hours seeking God's love and truth, following my desires, feeling my emotions, or being social. I think it would be really cool if I was just spending 52 hours of my week. Like, I literally want to work 30 hours a week. I only want to work 30 hours a week. I think 40 hours a week is way too much. It's way too much time spent. Um, if I have to work and make money and support myself, like if that's loving, then because I can't make money off of the things I want to do, I have to make some money to support myself. But 40 hours is crazy to me. I worked 50 hours. It feels good to make money. It feels good to see money in the bank, but that's just like an addiction too, because um, you're simply like averting. You're really afraid of not having money. So seeing a lot of money feels good. It's amazing how many people are in my life. I don't know if this is just everywhere, but I don't save my money and I don't invest my money. And there are people who constantly are at me about investing and saving. Oh my fucking god, like it sucks. I'm literally trying to go do the birds in the air thing, lilies of the field thing. Lilies of the field definition, King James version. You got to do the King James, man. It's the most beautiful. Is that King James? I'm sorry, it's gonna take a bit. Just pick your nose while I'm finding. Here we go. Consider this is Luke 27, 12, 27 through 40. Let's do the whole thing, man. This is going to be one of the best parts of this stream because it's not me talking, it's someone writing down what Jesus supposedly said, which is probably partially true. So, it's going to be a lot better. So, congratulations. You read the Bible today. Here we go. Consider the lilies how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothe the grass, which is today in the field, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not ye what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. I wish I could fucking believe that. It's like for a moment I actually believe that, you know? And then my friend says, "Why are you not saving?" And then I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Shit, I hate people, man. I want people because I want them to. I want to talk to like I think most of my interactions are just fucked up, man. Oh fuck! I'm crying even though I said I wasn't. It sucks. I want to say this. Most of my interactions are me trying to be wise and share a powerful message with somebody, and yet at the same time not living that message in my own life. So really, I want to like get over on somebody and like the addiction is like wanting someone to think that I'm really smart or wise. It's really wise. I want someone to think I'm wise. And they at the same time, I don't know what they want, but I assume it's not very good. And then they'll ask me honestly how I'm doing, and then I'll answer honestly. Oh, I'm scared because I don't have money. And then they're like, "Oh, that sucks. You should save." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Fuck." But what about the lilies of the field? And they're like, "What? The lilies of the field? It's in the Bible." It's a great verse. You don't know of it? I feel like I'm talking to fucking stones or something, man. I'm gonna cry again. Shit, I can't stop crying. It really sucks. Why the fuck does no one know about the lilies of the field? If I make it funny, maybe I can get rid of the sadness, but no, that didn't work. You know what? I've been trying so hard to not be an exhibitionist and not cry. I'm just gonna freaking cry, okay? Maybe you'll cry a little bit too, and that's gonna be great for you. So I'm just gonna freaking cry for like a whole freaking minute, all right? It's 8:38, and I'm gonna cry until like 8:40. Now I don't want to cry. Whoa, I just got out of it, but I can get back into it. Maybe if I start reading this again, I'll get right back into it. So sad, man. It's so sad. Nobody knows about the lilies of the field. Oh shit. But yes, like all my interactions are fake because I'm trying to get this addiction of being wise, and then I don't know, maybe people think I am actually somehow wise or this monk type person living by his ideals. Meanwhile, I'm like grossly like I don't know. I don't want to say that. I don't want to sully myself. It's I sully myself so much. Like I speak so badly about myself. It's actually it's actually it's actually gross. How gross I make myself out to be. It's I'm sick of it. Like I'm trying for whatever reason. I want people to be sickened when they think of me, and yet doing that is finally sickening. Constantly telling people how gross I am, but no, I'm not doing that many good things. But I don't know what people want. I don't know what people. Why does anybody want to talk to me? There's a few people that want to talk to me, and I just want to pretend that I've got good things to say to them, and they want to talk to me for whatever addiction that they're engaging. And yet it's also weird because there's like some goodness in all of that too. Like there's these like AJ talks about freaking people in hell that have good intentions. And I'm like, yeah, that's good and beautiful, but like it's so weird how to think. Like I don't know when someone's being good. I don't get it. It makes more sense to just judge someone away. To just say, "Oh, they're all bad or they're all good." It's easier. That's why speaking is so stupid too, because it's like you were bad for 98% of that, and then you were really good for 2% of it. You were good here, then you were bad here was good, bad here was all right. Then it was bad for like a lot, like a lot, and then there was a little bit of good, and then there was another little bit more good, and then it went really bad again. It's like, how do you say that? How do you say that properly? Does that make sense? Probably not. Let's continue reading this beautiful literature here. All right. Freaking A, man. Jesus, you're such a champion. Oh, shit. I was trying to say that sarcastically, but it's literally true. He is such a freaking champion, man. If then God so clothe the grass, which is today in the field, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? So you're saying God loves us? God damn it. I don't, I'm scared of that. And seek not ye what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. Okay. Sure, I'll just not be of doubtful mind, even though that's what I'm used to. For all these things do the nations of the world. I really wish there's like one person out there that listened to this and cuts off the stream and goes and like lives. Just go and live and follow every single one of your freaking passions and make mistakes and then feel bad about it and then keep going. That would be so awesome. And then I'll be in hell and like they'll come down and be like, Thea, you're not that bad. I was watching one of your streams and it was helpful when you read that stuff. The sad thing is I'd be jealous of you 98% of the time, but then I'd also be really happy for the 2%. There's so many freaking tears. This is literally a therapy session. I should like I don't get what's going on here. But it's like I'm not helping people. Crazy. So I'm literally not doing what I'm supposed to do, which is like feeling my emotions in my day-to-day life. I can't bring myself to do that for longer than a minute or two. Well, sometimes I'll cry for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, "Yay!" But then I remember that AJ cries for like 2 hours or 5 hours or several days straight. I'm like, what? Can't cry more than 2 minutes. I can't sustain my crying, okay? And then I felt really bad, and I'm like, fuck. And then I just like, and then I watch, I watch video game. I watch, play my games, and I watch my streams. I've been watching a lot of Owen Benjamin lately. Okay, that's gonna tie into later. I can do this as long as I freaking want. All right, you're like, oh fuck, how long is this stream? I gotta go. I gotta go do something. Just go do it, man. This is gonna be a while. So the irony is, I can't bring myself to feel my emotions, which is the really good work. That like it. I don't want to paraphrase Jesus. Okay, I don't even know. He's. Ugh, ugh. I should just like, is it nap time? I just want to sleep. Like, there's so many fucking things in my head. So apparently, there's this guy, right? His name is Alan John Miller, right? Now I'm a kid again. Okay. And he claims to be Jesus. Okay. And he has a lot of good things to say. Oh, I like what he has to say. It's really good. Do you think he's Jesus? Kinda. And then he says, you don't believe I'm Jesus. He says, like, 3 people in the world believe I'm Jesus. And I'm like, damn it. I'm probably one of the rest of the people that don't believe he's Jesus. And then I'm like, okay, well, I won't say you're Jesus if you say I don't believe it. And as far as I know, I don't. When do you believe something? When do you, I don't know. Fuck, I hate that stuff. So tired of the believing and knowing and thinking and doing and hearing and whatever. So the irony is that I will literally spend my day either working or engaging my addictions, not doing one of the 3 things I should be doing. The top of which, from what I gather from AJ, is seeking God's love, but you also have to seek God's truth to do that. With truth comes love, kind of, somehow, I think. I forget. And then second is uh, follow your passions, which I've been kind of trying to do, but kind of mostly not. Also, like I don't even do the first one because it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know when I'm receiving God's love. So yeah, and then the second one is following your passions, and then the third one is feeling your emotions. Like I would put it in that order. Don't don't. I'm not speaking for anybody. That's what I kind of assuming is the most important. So if I have 52 hours when I'm not caring for myself or I'm not working for money and I'm not sleeping, if in one week I have 52 hours out of the 168 hours to do one of those three things, that's really good. But I just use those 52 hours to engage in addictions, okay? So, so like I'm now doing what I think is an addiction, which is streaming. And yet like I'm able to get into my emotions. It's crazy. If I just journaled and talked to God in prayer, I could probably get into my emotions. I normally do. And yet I can't bring myself to do that because I don't know why. I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I don't really value it. I don't value that time. If I really valued the time that I spent praying, then I'd be doing it, right? No, so I don't. So really what I value is the addiction. It's just the avoidance of fear. That's good for me, I believe. I justify that action. Praying, I don't really think there's anything good to that. Nothing comes of that shit. See, this is why this is bad stuff, because I'll say stuff like how praying is bad. Like, that's honestly what I believe. I don't think it helps. I have plenty of examples where it has helped, but I can't honestly say that it does help because I don't spend a lot of my time doing it. So, yeah. Let's go back here. So, I'll be talking to a friend and I'll be like, this is going nowhere. I'll realize, oh, this is going nowhere. And then I'm like, yeah, everything we do is bad mostly. Like, most of the things we do is bad. I'm doing it right here. I'm being bad. I am. I'm not doing good stuff right now. I'm talking to someone because I want to engage my addictions, and they're talking to me because they want to engage their addictions. Except maybe a little bit of what we're doing is good too. But it's like speaking is so fallible in itself. It's so, if I speak, so much is lost. So much of my time is lost. I don't know. I'm sorry. Let's go back to this beautiful biblical. I don't feel like I can. I don't feel like I can morally justify anything that I'm saying when I say that saying things is bad, right? Because if you say speaking is bad, then you can't speak. If you just build an argument for how speaking is bad, and then you try to speak, it's like, what are you doing? You just said it was bad. And yet it does help you get into your emotions. Like, I think AJ said this once. So, and then another dude who knows about AJ said it to me, and it seems to be true. If you actually talk if you talk out what's going on, it kind of helps. And I would test that. So like in prayer, like a lot of times I'll be in my mind, in my head, and I'll be like saying things in my head. And I wouldn't really get into any emotions. But when I spoke what I was thinking, I would. So I would spend like I remember this is when I was in Chicago and I was driving along Lakeshore Drive. That's the moment that I'm thinking of. And I it takes like 20 minutes to get from the north of Chicago to the south of Chicago on Lakeshore Drive. So I'd have 20 minutes to talk or to pray. So I had like, I don't know. There were a lot of times where I was praying in my head and not saying anything. And I wouldn't get into my emotions. But then I would pray and I would talk and I would say, God, I'm feeling like this, and this is how this is happening, and this is how I feel, and this is so stupid, and I think this is dumb, and stuff like that. And then pretty quick, I'd get into my emotions. So there's something to be said for that, for sure. So I think that's really cool. There's something to be said for talking. So it's not all bad. It's just that there's more to it. I should really drink some water. Yeah, I'm gonna do that soon. All right, so let's finish this. Let's see if I can finish this. This is how much truth are in these words. Do people not see this? There's more truth in these words. Like, I am not a biblical literalist by any means. That's one feature of positivity in my religious upbringing, that I don't believe it. I'm not a strict biblical whatever. Like, God help people that are like Bible fundamentalists. I honestly feel sad for that. It really sucks. I would not have gotten anywhere believing that. I would have. I was. There's this dude Anomaly that I really I listen to Anomaly on YouTube, who does these. He's like a news analyst guy, and he's like quasi hateful towards gay people, which is something I understand because I used to be that way. And someone in his comments was like, "Yeah, gay people are bad." I'm like, "No, they're good. God loves gay people." I wrote that, and they're like, "No, you're bad," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." And then they're like, "Well, the Bible says it's bad." So, and I'm like, "Why do you trust the Bible? It's got a lot of bad stuff in it." They're like, It's the Bible, dude." And I'm like, "No." So, how often does that conversation happen where it's in the Bible, and then you're like, "No, the Bible's not fully good." And then they're like, "No, it is." And then you don't get nowhere. So then you realize you have a spin class to get to. So you go do that. But that's not fun. And I didn't have that. I didn't have the whole biblical thing where you have to trust the Bible 100%. Oh, thank God for that. And yet, here is some amazing stuff right smack dab in the Bible. You just got to look for it. Everybody instinctually knows that Jesus is a good dude. I can't really understand why we're so sinful. We're so full of contradiction and sin, and yet we can still recognize that Jesus is pretty awesome. So that's cool, because the human race is pretty fucked up in a lot of ways, but we can still kind of see that Jesus was a good dude. So, for all my racist hatred against verticals, I can still appreciate some features of our disgusting race. I'm a self hating human. Oh, Lord. All right. Let's try to get through this. Although the truth just hits you so hard that you got to stop and talk about it. All right. And seek not ye what ye shall eat. I'm going to say yeah. I'm going to try yeah. I think it's either yay. It's not yay because that's Kanye isn't yay. That's such a stupid name, Kanye. Kanye was a decent name. It's this whole African thing. You're trying to be African. Cool, whatever. If that's literally like what, if that's a name in Africa, I dig it. But if it's like Letitia, I'm sorry. Theo, you're racist. I already said that. You're not contributing. Letitia, I don't think is African. It's like half African, half American. but Kanye sounds African. If Letitia is African, I'm sorry. Okay, Letitia. Theo isn't even that good of a name. Listen, I'm not like trying to arrogantly suggest that I have a better name than you because it's more English. I can go into that, but that's a whole thing, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say yeah, 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 yeah. I'm going to do the yeah. I'm not going to do ye because it's hard. There's a reason why ye is so hard. Like you have to like look like Jim Carrey. You have to be like, what's that firefighter? If you look on YouTube, Jim Carrey does this firefighter impression, and he's always doing this. And that's what you do every single time you say ye. Whoever, like, you can't do it, man. It's way too hard to do. And seek not ye what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm going to do yea, okay? Yea is easier than ye. So that's what we're doing. And I'm not going to do, yeah, I said I'm not going to do yea, and I'm not going to do ye. So I'm going to do yeah. Yeah is not so tough. And seek not ye what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Oh my God! Oh! You know, I was on a roll. I was like, I'm going to get through this whole thing. And then right there, one of my favorite quotes just popped right up. I didn't know this was in the same part. That is amazing, man. Dude, right there. That is an amazing, amazing line. I've always used it. Seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. So, yeah, I use that all the time. I don't know. It's not coming to my head. I just think it's an amazing line, okay? I'm going to spend a whole stream on it maybe in like 12 years, but right now I'm not going to. It's just an amazing line. That's all. Just think about it and use it. I think I've also used it. It's like an arsenal, it's like a ammunition. Ammunition? When someone's quoting to me the Bible, I just quote them back. Well, what about this one? It's like jujitsu. It's like biblical jujitsu. Matt 31. No. Luke 31. Bitch. Take that, sucker. All right. So let's just move right along here. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Really? Is it really God? Sorry. I believe that's your good pleasure. How do I get from not having things to having things and be happy? Even if I had things, I'd be unhappy. I don't have things and I'm unhappy. And if I had things, I'd be unhappy because that's how that works. You actually have to feel your unhappiness to get rid of it. You can't get stuff to get rid of your happiness. Savers, investors, put that in your smoke and pipe it. Damn it. Theo, you should really save. No. Why not, Theo? Because it's not going to make me happy. It makes me super happy. I'm like super happy that I got stuff in my bank account. Oh, really? Are you the happiest you've ever been? Are you just brimming with happiness now that you know you have money in your bank account? That stuff's not even real, you freaking idiot. What do you mean it's real? I go to the store and I buy stuff with it, you freaking idiot, Theo. Yeah, okay. I don't know how to. You're looking at me with anger, and I can't. You might be right because I'm scared now. I don't have a good argument because right now I'm operating in fear. Yeah, Theo. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay, I'm going to back away now. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that you have and give alms. Provide yourselves bags. I should just do that. I should just sell what I have. No, I shouldn't sell. I don't believe in selling. I'll give it away. Give that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. This is like a sermon. Like these words are so powerful. I could literally make a stream off of this. This is so amazing, man. I'm gonna finish this, and then there's one more thing I want to say, and then I'll finish the stream. No messages. Nobody watching. Cool. For where your treasure is. Willem Dafoe told me to do this. Do it for one person. All your creative work, do it for one person. So this is, and then make that one person you. That's my secret. Like if I'm in the woods and I just realize something amazing and then I say it and there's no one else around, forget that there's a spirit world. Let's say there's no one else around. I am still saying it to myself. And that's one person. And that's good. It's like a way to like not feel so bad about who you are. So for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning, and ye yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him immediately. Blessed are those servants, whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that he shall gird himself, and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. And if he shall come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are those servants. And this know, that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched, and not have suffered his house to be broken through. But ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when ye think not. Yeah, that's where it gets strange. The Son of Man, the Son of God, that language is fraught with problems. Can I say one more thing? Can I wrap up what I was saying about God and time? Like maybe God exists in time. I think I said this before, but I'm really frustrated that God knows everything that was going to happen, because that meant that he knew all the choices I was going to make. And so I want to battle with God and say that there is no free will, because if there was, then you wouldn't know what I was just about to do. You wouldn't have known that I was just about to sniff just then. You wouldn't know that I was just about to pick up this purple journal. And yet somehow God knows that. I don't like that. I'm not happy with that, because that means there's no free will. If you knew there's no free will, and yet AJ swears that there is free will, I was in a freaking slump for like 2 years thinking there's no free will. And I busted myself out of the slump by thinking that maybe there somehow was free will. So basically what I landed on is that somehow there's free will even though God knows things. Like, doesn't make a lot of sense, but I don't know. I don't even know. Like, we're supposed to have free will where animals don't. And yet animals do a lot of the things that I do. They react to things. I react to things. God created me. I This is probably a really ingrained false belief that I had from my upbringing. I I don't know. Maybe it's like a maybe it's something that Adam and Eve struggled with. Maybe that's why it's so hard. I wonder if this is going to be like one of the hardest things to get over in my entire life. It feels like the hardest thing. I think I made a video where I said it was the biggest problem that I had, and it literally is. It has something to do with like maybe the video that I had made was about getting into the celestial heavens, getting into the high reaches of the spirit world, but I think it's related. I'm pretty low energy. I need some water. Otherwise, I'll pass out and die, which wouldn't be such a bad thing. But I don't know. I just started I just started thinking perhaps maybe God according to himself, like if this is all God's rules and God created this thing that we have that other people don't have, free will, not other people, other animals, other creations, if we uniquely ourselves somehow have free will and animals don't, I can't see that. I can't see it. But maybe God can see it. Maybe it is somehow true. That's all I have. What I believe is that God is an asshole and God made made us and knew we would suffer. Like I think about how I would be alive. I would be in the spirit world for hundreds of thousands of years and suffer 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 so much. And God knew about it. That's what I hate so much about it because God's a butthead. I really don't like that. And then someone would say, "Oh, you just have to make the choice to feel your emotions." And I'm like, I don't know. I don't. Sounds good. It's just an emotion. Yeah. Well, then why is it so hard? If it's just an emotion, why do you not want to feel just a simple emotion? It seems really difficult to me. You make it sound like it's a small thing, but it doesn't seem like a small thing. Maybe if you give me a lot of space and you don't pump my head full of things like false beliefs about money, maybe if somebody showed me that growing up in this world, like I don't have to rely on money and thoughts about money and getting a job and rent and all that shit, I don't see how I can do it. Maybe if somebody said, maybe if somebody showed me that I can be happy with one woman and I wouldn't have all these problems with women and it wouldn't be so confusing and hellish, then I wouldn't be like beating myself up all the time and I wouldn't be feeling so bad all the time. And I would be able to have an open mind so that I could do good things and be happy and follow my passions. But as it is, my whole like women are mysterious and crazy and scary and I hate them and I worship them and I really want to be with them and I wish they'd be like super far away from me too at the same time. So um yeah, but I'm supposed to believe that God gave me free will. Like if I suffer for 200,000 years, maybe after I'm done suffering and I actually get into a better situation after all of that, then I'll actually like it'll all be worth it. But I don't, it's not easy for me to forgive someone that would create a world in which I chose to do that. God made the world, God made me. I, a creation of God, chose the wrong thing. You knew that. I'm not happy about that. Like, swoop in and tell me everything is okay, but that's really hard for me. It's all right, Theo. It's all right. Somehow it's all right. It doesn't make sense to me. And then someone tells me, "Oh, it's just an emotion. Just feel that. You're really mad at God." Actually, that did help. Honestly, when I thought of it that way, I thought of it like I'm just really mad at how God made things, then I was actually able to feel it and get somewhere. Hearing sounds in my house. Weird. If someone's here and they heard part of the stream, I'd have to like grovel. I'd have to tell them, "Oh, I'm not that crazy." um, so let me just finish one more thing. I watch Owen Benjamin because there's this thing. Owen Benjamin is this comedian who stood up for trans children, and I respect him because he's honest, but he's also like he has a lot of toxic masculine. Like he's into the whole toxic masculinity stuff. When I first heard about toxic masculinity, I'm like, no, 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 that's not the way to do it. But now I'm using that term because I see it a lot. Like masculinity in itself is not toxic. It probably really isn't the right term. All I'm saying is if you believe that like men are supposed to be like leaders and women are supposed to be followers, that's messed up. Okay, and he believes that. And they're supposed to lead because they're taller and physically stronger. Like, no. Nope. No, 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 no. I don't want to lead nobody. AJ, I almost said Jesus. AJ made a great point the other day. He was like, if I control someone that I'm in a relationship with, like my love partner, then I'm not actually going to experience their love for me because they're going to do things at my behest by my control. And then I won't actually feel happy because I'm not actually getting love. It's pretty sad, but like Owen Benjamin is not in a loving relationship. I mean, there probably is love there, don't get me wrong. But it's like if he's all about like controlling, the scary thing is that like his partner might never say it, but she probably thinks, "Oh no, I don't know. I wonder what she thinks." I think women are like I think women will allow the false belief that some men have that they must be the leader in the family to a certain point. But then a lot of times they're like, okay, now I need to take control. And they literally do because men make bad decisions because we're as fallible as women. And then women will say, like, I'm secretly leading this relationship, which is also stupid. I think a lot of women think they're secretly leading the relationship. Nowadays, they can be more overt about it, especially if they're in complete, obvious domination of their partner and they just tell their partner what to do and the partner does it. Then they're obviously in control. But I think in the situation where you have someone who is like a male chauvinist or like a male, a male supposedly a male dominant person. If the male is trying to be dominant and like be the leader, be the man, whatever the fuck that means, doesn't mean anything stupid. The woman can't completely and this is probably, there are some women, I'm sure there's women who love being dominated, just in the same way that I kind of like, I want to dominate a woman sexually because I know they like it sometimes. Like, some women kind of like that, and I want to give that to them if that's what they want, because I do most things to get them to be happy and make the noises I want them to make, right? But but I also want to be dominated by women. Weirdly enough, so that's weird, right? It's like a whole thing. I don't know how do I climb back out of that? How do I climb out of that? Saying a lot about women and men, which is interesting for people and for me, but did that make sense? I got to wrap this up because it's going too far. Women and men. So women, sometimes a man would be dominating a woman, and secretly, and the woman will say, "Oh, I'm so glad you're dominating me. That's great. It's great." But secretly, she feels like she's dominating the man, and she's superior to the man. Sometimes a man is dominating a woman, and the woman loves that because she loves being dominated. Then it's also vice versa. So I'm sure there are situations where it's the opposite, where a woman is dominating a man and she's like, I'm superior and I should dominate you. And he's like, oh, I love that. But secretly, he probably thinks, I don't see this happen, at least in the West, that much. Like, it's hard to imagine a Western man in this situation. But just to be completely fair, let's just say that this happens in a given situation. That a woman will be dominating the man, and a man will say, "Oh, I that's good that you're dominating me," but then secretly he'll feel like he's the superior person in the relationship. But then it could also be that other last thing, to be completely fair, which is a woman will be dominating a man, and he just loves being dominated. I think that's more what happens in the West, and I think what happens with I think women dominate men more in the West. AJ has said that, so there, a very smart man is backs me up. But it's also through my veil of this is where you really can't like take AJ's words out of context or whatever, because like you could really influence people badly. So I'm probably gonna go to hell for that. But yeah, I read you part of what I was saying about part of my little thing about time. That's interesting. But we're gonna end with that. We're gonna end that, and yeah, Owen Benjamin, right? So he's like, yeah, he's funny and he's interesting and he's honest, which I respect him so much for. And then recently, there's this commentator, or there's this right wing dude named Steven Crowder. He has a show, Louder with Crowder, which I never really cared for because, well, partially because Owen Benjamin, who I respected more than Steven Crowder, lambasted Steven Crowder. So Owen says Steven Crowder's a bad guy. So I'm like, I better not watch Steven Crowder. I like Owen Benjamin more. That's part of the fiendishness of Owen too, which is that he will like just like tear into people. Which if I'm watching him, I probably like doing too. I'm a very judgmental person, so I can't say that I don't like that. But sometimes it's too much and I don't like it. But there's this whole fiasco recently with Steven Crowder where Steven is claimed to have some moral high ground because of a deal that he made with another news company, the Daily Wire, or a deal that didn't go through, and he's like pretending they're bad people. So that's a lot of what news is these days. These people are bad. No, these people are bad. No, really, these people are bad. 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 Be afraid of these people. No, these people are bad. That's a lot of what it is. And I guess I like that because I tuned back into Owen Benjamin streams after years of not of not. I would literally I would spend so much time watching Owen, and I'm sure he influenced a lot of how I'm streaming right now. I don't have a massive viewership, so that's fine. I'm not saying that like anything that I'm doing is going to be that important. I kind of somehow feel it will be, but anyway, because I watched so much of him, so much of Norm Macdonald, I'm probably borrowing, aspects of um, their how they operate, how they bring the funny, you know. But we all borrow, I guess, so it's okay. But anyway, I watched so much of Owen's streams that I was like, this is bad for me. I'm not getting anywhere. And so I literally prayed asking God to help me to stop watching the streams. And finally, after a lot of effort, I stopped watching Owen. But I'll tune back in every now and again. And recently I found him again because I was interested in the whole fiasco about Steven Crowder and what Owen Benjamin had to say about it. And he didn't disappoint. And I got some good stuff out of his streams. And I did what I often do, which is I wanted to write Owen a letter. He takes some money through the post because you can't take money through any other payment, company like PayPal because they all get rid of his account. So he receives money through the post. So he accepts letters, and I wanted to write him a letter telling him what God's truth is. So I'm going to read this to you, and I'm going to tell you you know, what I wrote to him. So here we go. These are the real teachings of Jesus. Being born again is a state where you have received so much of God's love that you pass perfection as experienced by Adam and Eve. Jesus was the first person to achieve this. You receive love from God through the Holy Spirit, which is a conduit that fills into your soul through the crown of your head. You receive God's love by asking for it sincerely from your heart. There are thousands of paths that will get you to perfection through the use of your intellect. Only through receiving God's love more and more into your heart can you reach beyond. We are not God's, but God's children. This is the narrow path. So I wanted to write that to Owen, and I might actually send it to him today. But I want to talk to you about how, I guess only because it's important to me, I want to talk to you about how that's a bad idea because Owen doesn't care. Maybe this is the one time I want to influence him because he thinks about a lot of. Owen actually is one of the few people that is willing to be kind of like a Christian or like half Christian or whatever. Like he's more of a sincere Christian than a lot of people because he understands the value of honesty, and he is intellectually honest, or logically honest. And he's so logically honest that he actually questions the doctrine of the Trinity. I mean, it's amazing. I'm not trying to, I'm literally, I just did this thing because that's something you do when you're trying to be funny. You're trying to like, you know, suggest what someone said is stupid, but that's not stupid. Anybody that is able to break free from that spell, as he would say, of the Trinity, the doctrine of the Trinity. Oh my God, they get my respect because so few people are able to see through that bull crap. I've had a lot of discussions with people, and people don't care about that stuff. And he worked out for himself that the Trinity sounds like a bunch of crap. And I'm like, wow, awesome. So I've tried to write him letters. I've sent him money and wrote him letters. And so I'll give you two examples, okay? I wrote him a long page, trying to share some of the divine truth teachings with him. And he read like through 3 lines and he was like, I don't want to read this. And then he said, and then he asked his listeners if they wanted to, and they said, no, I don't want to. And so I'm like, damn, I really put a lot into that letter. I typed it up so we could easily read it. And he just like, he didn't want to read it. And I kind of get it. It's like me shoving it down his throat, you know. He didn't ask me. So, yeah. But then I'll share this other letter that I sent him. He once asked for a point by point argument, like a list of arguments for veganism. Okay. And so I sent him a letter with like 10 basic arguments. It was on a sheet of paper, much like this. It was about this size. And he read through every single point and he dismissed every single one of them. His dismissals were bad. He was not being logically honest with every point that he dismissed that I had made. But that's his choice, you know. Um, I think that veganism makes a lot of sense. It's funny how even in our logic, we are so influenced by our own emotions, you know? Like, I'm probably vegan partially because, you know, my mother is like slightly, she kind of gets it. She's a meat eater, but she kind of gets it. My sister Gabri was a vegetarian for a while. One of my other sisters, oh, I shouldn't say her name, I'm sorry. Anyway, there it is. Doesn't matter. It's probably easily probably find it somewhere anyway, easily. But another one of my sisters is a vegan. And my uncle, my mother's brother, is a vegan, is a vegetarian. So it's not so difficult for me to be a vegetarian. And I bet nobody in Owen's family is a vegetarian. And yet he's more honest than a lot of people because he he raises his own animals and he slaughters them himself. So that's pretty honest, you know. So that's good. I have to give him that. But I sent him these 2 letters and I put effort into it and I'm like, you can't just dismiss this good stuff. But he dismisses a lot of stuff and he's very smart. And yeah, so maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. It's just that, yeah. What am I saying? What I'm basically saying is that I spend so much time trying to convince Owen Benjamin of something, and this is one of my addictions too. I'll get into comment sections and I'll say, "No, gay people are good," when nobody asked me, and I'll send someone a letter even though nobody asks me what I thought. He does invite people to send letters, but he doesn't really want it. He wants the money. He wants the income. That's how, because he's banned on so many different, you know, platforms. He needs some way to generate an income from what he wants to continue to do, which is be a comedic voice and also have a be an influential voice in the culture. And so he does invite letters with interesting points, but he doesn't care about certain points like veganism. Like this letter could help him in a lot of ways, but he's probably going to dismiss it. So the question is, why the hell am I so determined to write this and send this to him when he is not going to accept it? Well, most likely. Well, it's because I want to think that I matter and I want to think that I have something interesting to say. And I'll probably bubble up. Like I've commented on his page and I think some of it has affected him. Because now it's funny, he thinks emotions are stupid and yet he also values them at the same time. A lot of people like him will say, "Oh, it's stupid, it's not manly," or whatever. But he's come around. He comes around to things. He changes, which is cool. I don't know. Maybe he's just shifts and he's not honest about it. I wonder if he is actually growing. So all these years later, after finally getting rid of Owen, or finally stopping watching him, he kind of experienced this like resurgence in the culture, and now I'm interested in him again. And I listened to some of his streams, and now I want to send him a letter, and he's not going to accept it. And he's probably going to dismiss it, but I'm going to send it anyway. Why is that important to you? I don't know. Maybe I just want to tell you how crazy I am because I want to put myself down, which is a running theme with me. But I have nothing else to say today. That's all I wanted to say. Stream about nothing and something at the same time. Goodbye.